And then in 1974, he was voted in as fire chief by Mayor Compton.
Well, Compton won it. Of course, he did the final.
Mm-hmm. That was March 29th, 1974.
Well, when I was a young boy, I always wore a haircut way up until until I joined the Army. I joined the Army at 17. And, but anyway, my next door neighbor, he kept calling me Cuckabert on account of my hair.
Pete.
And then it was changed to Cuckabert Pete. And then the Pete stayed with me up in there all my life. I even had it on my work shirt.
He came to Cheney, and he still had. We took the cement name off of the other cement company he worked for. We took that off, but Pete. Well, I guess you didn't even have it on there. It was just your name, company shirts, and it had Pete on it.
Had Pete that had I don't know if that shirt had Allen's or Richard.
No, it didn't. It just had your name.
Okay.
And he was still wearing those shirts, and he said, "I don't know what to tell people to call me." And I said, "What do you want them to call you?" He said, "I just assume they call me Pete." I said, "Okay then."
And so I become Pete and Cheney. Everybody knows me by Pete Bledsoe and Cheney. Ask anybody about Lloyd.
But his name is Lloyd Christopher. And his mom called him LJ because she didn't want him to be called Little Lloyd. So she called him LJ for Lloyd Jr. So he's had his original name, LJ, and Pete. So he's had all three names. Well, when we first came to Cheney, I put Lloyd in the phone book. And people would say, "I can find his father's name in there, but I can't find his." So the next time when it was time to redo them, I put Pete.
What color were they?
Yellow.
Well, yours was white and theirs was yellow.
Mine was, I had the white helmet and the white jacket because I was cheap. And so when we bought all of them, I bought the fireman's a yellow helmet. There's a yellow helmet and a yellow coat. We got grant money for, if I remember right, for pretty near all of our equipment, our boots and our coats and our bunker gear. But I don't, the fund money that we raised went in for on this stuff also, because you could only get a grant for so much. It always was less than what it actually cost you. Your grant was a certain amount of money that you applied for, and that it was a percentage of what it actually cost. We were just fortunate that the percentage would be over 50%.
But then you'd have fundraisers to get the rest of it.
We had all kinds of, and I can't even hardly remember. I remember our lunches we used to have and raise money.
Then we used to have picnics, or once a year we would have some kind of get together for the fire department.
We tried to invite all the old firemen that had left the fire department to make sure they were invited to our picnics.
Louise and Bud Gherkin, and at this picnic, they're probably instigated this one. Gary Richardson climbed up on the.
We had a pretty good grass fire, and this windmill had a wooden deck on top of it, and the deck had gotten so much heat from the grass fire underneath of it that it caught on fire. So Gary takes a hose and goes up and puts that fire out.
At one time, they decided the fire department would do fire detectors for everybody in town. The people would pay for them, but they would go put them up for them. My sister and her husband lived in Cheney at the time, so they were working on this. And Tom Moore had the Cheney Sentinel at the time. And so I had a deal out on the street, and I had a bunch of the fire detectors, and where people could buy them and take them. You'd be surprised at the people that did not want to spend money for a fire detector, even if the firemen were going to come put them up in their house. $25. But they'd say, no, I'm not spending $25. And then this was all the firemen, a picture of all the firemen at that particular time. There might have been a few that weren't there.